Hello, happy Wednesday. I hope wherever you are that you and your loved ones are safe and well and that you're having a good week and a good day. I am laughing a little bit because this is like my ninth attempt to get this done. I can't seem to get it together. Okay, what has happened thus far? Well, I am doing much better than I was last Wednesday and last week. I had one of the worst migraines I have ever had in my life. I know I talked about it in the video a little bit, and I talked about it in the blog more. It was bad, and not just because of the headache. I know I mentioned this when I wrote, but I've never had that level of nausea with a headache. It was a lot, and just the all over crappiness that comes with a migraine. It was amplified last week, and so I'm doing much better. And it's just one of those things, like, for me, at the end of a headache like that, it takes at least a day to come down from it and to start to feel more human, because it's bad. And last week was just one of the worst, if not the worst. But anyway, doing much better this week. What else? Oh, my follow-up for my injection was supposed to have taken place yesterday. Keyword supposed. It did not, obviously. I got a call at, it was going to be at a different office, not the usual office that I go to. It was supposed to be on the Upper West Side, which takes longer for me to get to, and I probably would have had to leave by 9 yesterday morning to get there at the latest, just to get there on time and to give myself a little bit of a buffer. Because whenever I have to travel like that, I like to give myself at least a 15 to 20 minute buffer. That way, if the train is late, I mean, it's probably not enough of a buffer, but or if I have to walk from the train, which I generally do, that I have enough time to, get myself over there. But anyway, so I guess they called either right before I woke up or while I was getting up. So I missed the call, and I saw that when I picked up my phone, I saw that I had a message, and I was like, this is not good. And sure enough, they had an emergency, and my doctor was not going to be in, but they encouraged me to call and reschedule as soon as possible. Now, when you have to reschedule an appointment with these offices, whether it's my doing or their doing, it's not easy to do that. It's not as simple as, let me just call up and make an appointment. I mean, it ended up being okay, but I have to see him every month. And part of the reason is to follow up and check in and see how I'm doing. But the biggest reason is because of my medications. I am taking a Schedule 2 drug, which is a controlled drug, and when they order it, they can't give you refills on it. So you have to see the doctor every month or follow up with the doctor every month and get a new prescription issued. And it's a dance I have to do every 4 weeks. And so I know it's coming. And so I time my visits and time these refills so that I am never left without medication. And we do this dance together and make it work. And so the appointment they gave me, at least it's in October. So I'm grateful for that. And it's in my usual office, which I'm grateful for. But it's after the refill needs to be picked up in my hands again and everything. I mean, it have to work that out. So that's a little tricky, because even if you call and say, I'm seeing the doctor in a couple of days, but my meds are going to run out, they make this big deal out of, because they somehow assume, and I know it happens, when I was working as a nurse in a private practice, pretty much in every private practice I ever worked in, even before I became a registered nurse, there were people that would call to get a refill, and then you wouldn't see them. And so it was very hard to, granted, we weren't using the practices that I was working for were not doing Schedule 2 drugs. But, hormone replacement therapy, things like that. So it's all medication. You can't mess around with it. And so you don't want people getting the meds and never seeing you to check in with you and see how they're doing, and get the necessary tests if necessary tests have to be done. So there's a reason why, even if it's a pain in the ass, there's a reason why the doctors say they're not going to give you 6 months of refills if they haven't seen you. So just know that. But when you have an appointment and you have a track record of never missing an appointment, ever, I don't think I've ever missed an appointment unless they've canceled it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure and I've been a patient there for over a decade. So I don't miss appointments unless I'm really sick, unless something came up with our daughter, or unless they canceled it. And I mean, I think I could count on one hand if that's happened in a decade. And I'm saying, like, if it happened, it maybe have been once or twice. And so I don't miss appointments. I take that very seriously. They know that. They know my history. They know my schedule. They know how hard I work to orchestrate this so that I don't run out of meds, because you can't just stop these medications. You can't, any of them. It really screws you up when you do. And so, you know, I'm that vigilant about my Lipitor. I'm that vigilant about the drugs my urologist gives me. I don't want to have my system messed up, because I've reached this sort of, it's not a perfect balance, because if it was a perfect balance, I wouldn't have any issues at all. But I've reached this delicate balance with my body that I'd like to keep in play. Thank you very much, universe. So thank you. I'll take it. So I don't screw around with my meds or, you know, with my appointments. And so they know I'm going to be there. But guarantee, in a couple of weeks' time, when I start to get this situation going, they're going to give me a hard time about it and say, you have to come in and see the doctor. And it's like, I'm seeing the doctor in a matter of days. I still need the meds called in. So anyway. And then you have to deal with if the pharmacy doesn't have them, if they have to order them, and and I don't know that, because the other thing is you can't call in early for these. So if I had these filled on the 10th of every month, I can't call on the 9th and say, can I get my meds going? Because they won't. Legally, they can't. This is very serious. So that's fun. But I feel also that the whole point of the visit was to get the follow-up for the injection. Do you think it was working? Keyword was. But I started having spasms yesterday. And it was like, you gotta be kidding me. Is it as bad? Is it as frequent? No. But I was out walking, and I don't know, I shifted to I think I was at the self-checkout of a store, and I leaned over the self-checkout area, and I had a lock, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And it undid itself pretty fast, but it was like, that's never a good sign. When it starts up again, I thought, well, I had about a week of relief, you know, a few days anyway. And it's one of those things where it takes a few weeks to start to work and decrease the inflammation, etc. But for me, it's like, it could be as ridiculous as like 2 days earlier, I had terrible pain in that area. And then 2 days later, I wake up and I don't feel anything. And it's like, what? Oh, I don't have any pain. And so I have this sense of relief that I don't talk about, because it's like, is it going to kick off again? And sure enough. But whatever. You know, it's not a cure-all. It's just to decrease the stress on that area and the inflammation, as I said. And so whether the relief will be taking a little while to wear off, I don't know. But that sort of locking pain scenario in that moment yesterday never bodes well for the future. So we'll see what happens. What else is happening? My right foot. That stupid bone. Stupid bone. I hate it so badly. I did get relief for a little while from the terrible pain I was getting pretty much around the clock. But again, as soon as I notice, like, wow, it's not so bad, then it's like my body remembers something, and it's like, wait, what? You had relief for a minute? No, you know, as silly as that sounds, but I feel like when I get used to, I mean, the clicking, it's, I don't know if the microphone picked that up. That click was the bone. It's constantly cracking and clicking every time I move my foot. But I don't know. Everything is it's like walking on a tightrope. It really is. Managing the meds, managing the pain, managing everything. You know, anybody that's living with a medical situation can tell you that it's an uneasy alliance that you have with your body, and you have to just sort of take care of yourself as best you can and hope for the best and do what the doctors tell you to do and advocate for yourself, but, you know, just do what you can to take care of yourself. And that's what I've tried to do since 1998. Fun. Anyway, I'm not going to drag on. I have dragged on. I'm seeing it's a long video. I'm sorry. I hope that you have a low pain, no pain, low aggravation, no aggravation kind of a day, kind of a week, and kind of a weekend to come, because that is what we hope for. That is what we deserve, and that is what I wish for each and every one of you. I will see you on Friday via the blog, next week for another video. Take care, be well, and have a good afternoon. Bye.